and welcome to another episode of this week's feature presentations, Projects in the Computer Lab. I'm your host, Mrs. Yates. Let's take a look at what's going to be happening this week in the lab. If you're a kindergartner or first grader, you're in for a fun week. We're going to be using KidPix to create a bookmark. You're going to be learning how to use some new tools in KidPix as you create your bookmark. You'll use the drawing toolbar to make a perfect rectangle shape. The color selector will allow you to choose what color you want to outline your rectangle in. Next, you're going to be using the fill bucket. The fill bucket will let you fill your shape with any color you like. We'll also use the text feature to add our name to our bookmark. And finally, we'll use one of the icons that allows us to insert pictures and graphics. We'll be adding a jack-o'-lantern to our bookmark this week. This is my example of the bookmark we'll be creating this week. After we print our bookmarks, we'll be ready to cut them out and start using them while reading our favorite books. If you're a second grader, I want you to be thinking about the things you do every morning as you are getting ready to come to school. Why, you might ask? Because we're going to be using KidPix to create a timeline of our morning schedule. You'll be learning how to use some new tools in KidPix as you create your timeline. You'll use the straight line tool from the toolbar. It will allow you to draw a perfectly straight line. You'll also have to select the width of the line you draw from the line width tool on the toolbar. We'll use the stickers and stamps to add pictures that demonstrate what we do as we get ready for school in the morning. After we've entered our descriptive text, we'll alter the size, style, and font of our text using the drawing toolbar. This is my example of the timeline we'll be creating this week. We'll print these and take them home when they're finished. I want you to start thinking about the things you do every single morning that could be added to your timeline. Okay, third graders, you're going to be working in Microsoft Office Excel for the very first time. You're going to learn how to move around and make some changes in a spreadsheet. As you make these changes, you'll be revealing the answer to a riddle. You're going to be learning how to use some new tools in Microsoft Excel as you create the answer to your riddle. You'll become familiar with the cell ID box as you move around in the spreadsheet. You'll also learn how to select a cell and change its shading with the fill bucket. You'll find that the arrow keys on your keyboard allow you to move throughout your spreadsheet with ease and without accidentally deleting something. This is what our spreadsheet will look like when we finish it. So, do you already know what kind of monkey can fly? Fourth graders, you're going to be creating your very own jack-o'-lantern in Excel this week. You'll have to follow directions very carefully, but I know you're going to enjoy this activity. There's several tools that you'll use to create your jack-o'-lantern. You're going to use the drawing toolbar for many of the things we do. The Auto Shapes button will allow you to choose shapes to make your jack-o'-lantern's face. We can also add color to those shapes. We'll have to format our columns and rows so our jack-o'-lantern doesn't come out looking like a smashed pumpkin. The fill bucket will allow us to shade in the various cells on our spreadsheet in order to create our masterpiece. Finally, we'll want to alter the font we use for our name since Halloween is right around the corner. I'm going to be using the font called Chiller. Our jack-o'-lantern should look something like this when we're finished. Don't worry though, I'll let you decide what type of face you want your jack-o'-lantern to have. Fifth graders, you're going to be working on your own this week using the internet. You're going to be completing a web quest I have created for you. What does it take to complete a web quest? Let's find out. Web quests are fun and exciting to complete. All you're going to need is the Word document that I will provide for you. It will contain all of your directions. You'll also need to use the internet to access the website that contains the answers for your web quest. That's it. Sounds pretty simple, huh? After you've used Liberty's Kids website to find out the answers to your web quest, you'll record them on your handout. If you finish early, you get to start looking for a website that you could use to create your very own web quest. Happy surfing! Well, that wraps up another week in the computer lab with your host, Mrs. Yates. I'm going to look forward to seeing all of you in the lab.